Hi everyone, Dr. Suneel, Dhand, medical doctor. Welcome to another video. I want to share with you in this video a fantastic experience that I had with a doctor in the United Kingdom when they were treating a close relative of mine. And I'm making this video because obviously I talk a lot about negative experiences that I personally had with family members and negative experiences that people relay to me as well. And we all have stories to tell because quite frankly, the healthcare systems in many countries are a horror show. But that doesn't take away from the fact that there are many good doctors as well. And I want to share a story with you of a doctor in the United Kingdom and her communication with me, which was absolutely fantastic, brought a smile to my face and made me feel very reassured indeed. And before I even get into this story, for my viewers in the United Kingdom, I'm very excited with my team that our natural supplement store, Oh Hi Wellness, is quickly expanding in the UK and Europe. ohhiwellness.co. Check in the links down below. If you're in the UK or Europe, check us out. And of course, if you're in the United States, North America, ohhiwellness.com. Okay, so let me share this story with you. And as a person, human being first before a doctor, who lives and works in the United States and has lots of relatives in the United Kingdom, I'm always very closely tuned in to what is going on with the National Health Service because, of course, so many of my relatives are affected by it, and many of them are getting older. So I have a close older relative who was having a gynecological procedure, and it was an elective procedure. It was planned. And so my older relative did ask the consultant physician, or you could even call them a surgeon if they're an obstetrician, gynecologist performing surgery, or attending doctor, as we would say in the United States, that I was in the US and could they talk to me about what was happening. And although I've made videos before about negative experiences when certain doctors refuse to do so, most of the time they are okay with doing that and they will communicate with me, I must say. Some are better communicators than others, but this particular doctor was absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to highlight 3 particular areas where I was actually blown away and I thought this is fantastic. So the first thing that she said to me when she was on the phone was this, and I'm going to write a word up on the whiteboard here. So here's a word up here, friendly. What do I mean by this? Well, the very first thing that she said to me when she got on the phone was, "Hello there, I'm here with your lovely relative." And the way she said that was very, if I can use the word, nice indeed. And I thought, wow, that's a really nice way to start off talking to me. She didn't seem in a hurry and she seemed very caring indeed. And she said that my relative was having the procedure. She explained this to me, explained any potential complications, things that we should watch out for, and asked if I had any questions. But I thought the tone of her delivery was absolutely outstanding. And I really liked the way that the first thing she said was, "I'm here with your lovely relative." And it was so not typical of other interactions that I've had over the phone or even in person. She just seemed to be very caring. So friendly, and we can even use the word caring. The second point is this: complete communication. Pardon the doctor's handwriting there, but complete communication. And this wasn't so much with me, but it was with my relative. So what happened is this: there was a delay in surgery, and that consultant doctor kept coming around and updating my relative. And I thought, when I heard the story, because I heard about it afterwards, I thought that's really nice of her because, of course, she's busy. She's performing surgeries herself, but she took the time to keep going back to my relative and telling her that the surgery was delayed, and she was very apologetic. And I've been in circumstances before. This is something that really irks me the wrong way, where doctors are terrible at communicating this. In fact, I'll share a story with you here. This is many years ago. This is going back to when I was in medical school in the United Kingdom. I remember a very close relative of mine having a procedure done. I believe it was a gastrointestinal procedure. And she needed it done. And I was there at the bedside. And what happened was the surgery was delayed throughout the day. And we were sitting there. We were waiting and waiting. And then the consultant doctor, the surgeon actually, came at the end. And I saw him walk across. He spoke to some nurses. And basically what he told them was that the surgery would be cancelled and we would have to come back the next day. But listen to this. So he told the nurses, and then he walked straight past us, looked at us, put his head down and carried on walking. And then the nurse came back to tell us the news. Can you frigging believe that? And this is not an infrequent occurrence to have this total lack of communication and also respect I've seen this happen with other relatives over the years where I've been involved in their care. And also I've heard similar stories. Now, don't get me wrong, not every doctor is like this, but how terrible is that? That's why I'm so appreciative now when we have a good doctor like this particular surgeon who kept coming by during the day, updating my relative on what was happening and being very apologetic that the surgery was delayed, because we have seen far worse. Okay, the third thing that I would like to highlight, let me write a few more words up here on the whiteboard. You got this here, close the loop. This is so very crucial. I call it closing the loop anyway. So this means after all is said and done, closing the loop again of communication. So she spoke to me again after the procedure, told me how everything had gone, asked me if I had any questions, and my relative did just great and was discharged shortly afterwards. But she actually took the time to do that. And my own experiences within the National Health Service, especially, is that that's something that rarely happens. I think it tends to happen more in the United States with procedures. To be fair, the surgeons that I've worked with have always called relatives afterwards and spoken to them. But it appears to happen less in the United Kingdom, at least in my experience. But I was so impressed that she closed the loop. She didn't just leave it at that and assume that I would be okay when my loved one was discharged and not have any other questions. So those are 3 things then that I thought were absolutely fantastic. Now, I actually did go online and I gave her an amazing review afterwards because she totally deserved that. And there's a website you could go to review doctors. And I said that this doctor was absolutely fantastic from start to finish. She was very caring. She kept communicating with me. She wanted to know if I had any other questions. And most importantly, was not what I thought, because I'm a relative. What did my relative think? And this was a very close relative. She was absolutely blown away and said, this surgeon is fantastic. But the number one thing of all was, in her communication with my loved one and also with me, she simply displayed the fact that she really cared. And that was very obvious. And this is for anybody out there who has experienced this from their doctor or any other member of the care team, the nurse, any other clinician. When a clinician truly cares, that's really the number one thing anybody wants when they're at a low point in their lives, especially if they're having a surgery. But too often it doesn't happen. Doctors forget their Hippocratic oath. They get caught up in the system. They become mere assembly line workers who are churning through a list, and they forget the human being. So that's all I've got to say about that. Let me know your thoughts down below, especially if you're in the United Kingdom. Have you had similar good experiences? I mean, let's make this video about the good experiences. Are there any doctors that you want to give a glowing reference to, a shout out to, because they've done a great job? Because these doctors are out there in every single country. Okay, everyone. Thank you for watching Dr. Suneel Dhand. Do check the links in the description down below. Again, if you're in the United Kingdom or Europe, our natural supplement store, ohighwellness.co. If you're in the USA, North America, ohighwellness.com. Also check in the links down below for my website and all the other work I do. If you enjoyed this video, you will also enjoy some of my other videos on how we can go about improving the healthcare system. Hit the like button if you like this video, the subscribe button for more similar videos in the future, and we will speak again very soon.